Okay, everyone happy with this being recorded at the moment?
Yeah, no worries.
Brilliant. You okay with that, no?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Brilliant.
So,
Okay. Excellent. So I'll do the run through now because I've just realised I still haven't upgraded this and we got the meeting that's just 40 minutes. So if I start running through this and then anyone else who joins in can catch up. Have you done the you haven't done the onboarding one yet, have you? No?
um,
Sorry,
sorry.
have you done the introduction yet?
Were
No?
you asking no? You asking
Yeah.
no, not me, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, Dane.
Have have you done the introduction yet? I don't think you have,
Uh,
have you?
yeah, in the group I did.
You did you? All right then.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to run through it again so then they can record and we'll have people who will add as we go along. And
Right.
then we'll go on onto the management side of it as well, right from the beginning.
Okay. So, shall I?
Shall you what?
Okay. So, this is Sayeda, and basically, I did MBA in HR.
Yeah.
Master's with this. My majors was human resource management, and I'm from Pakistan. I'm here on spouse's visa, and my background, I've worked in bank for 5 years, and
Brilliant.
initially I began with the mutual funds, but then I started doing coordination after 2 years, and that was in investment banking. So
Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you put your description down, didn't you?
yeah, yeah, I
And
did.
you've done you've done quite a fair bit actually, haven't you?
Yeah.
Um, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, just seeing what's going on with you with the views because it seems to give me a presentation view. That's better. Right, can everyone see that? I think this has changed, haven't it? This is yeah, I think. Can everyone see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. I'm just making sure now this is yeah, bear with me. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so I'll run through the presentation quickly. And I'm recording this session as well, so this can be used for public and for the management team, but this is the management introduction, okay?
Okay.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so about me, my name is Dane Marks. I'm the managing director, and I'm going to go through the aims and objectives. Jack and Raquel pointed out that we should have some aims and objectives outlining the organisation moving forward on the last meeting. So we'll go through that as well, and then what we'll do is we can put this for the people who haven't been able to attend. We can put this so they can read and they'll understand what we're doing. Brilliant. So yeah, my name is Dane Marks. I'm a New Thought Minister, although that's not really relevant here, and I am a law graduate with an LLB Hons. I'm also a trainer. I'm an NLP trainer, and I've been doing training over the years as well. I've been in business for a long time, for a couple of decades, and I've decided now to turn my attention on non-for-profits to serve the community. As I can see in a lot of areas, which we'll go over shortly, there seems to be a huge amount of lack, and we're pulling teams together at the moment to ensure that we can provide services to the community nationwide. So we got two approaches. We've got the remote, which is nationwide, and then we've also targeting local communities as well, and underserved communities by assisting them in with the different organisations, which I'll outline shortly. So the platform is for the community by the community. So the aims of this organisation for the management team, the aims of this organisation is to create a voluntary community that is self-sustaining for the community by the community. I believe that through collaboration and team support systems from the outset, that the organisation will take a broader and more intelligent approach into driving the not-for-profits forward. with each valued person on these projects developing their own skills whilst learning to work with other people from a variety of different backgrounds and skill sets, and developing far broader skills and add to and supporting each other and the organization as a whole. So the whole point of this organization and the way we're setting up now is to try to navigate away from the top down director run management layer and then other layers underneath. It's more of a sideways move, as we discussed with Jack, who's on the meeting today, and Raquel. Raquel can't make it at the moment; she's having some issues. And to kind of create that cross-organization feel where everybody has a stake in benefiting the community and working towards collaboratively in order to ensure that this organization is being represented in the best ways possible for the community. So my objectives. The reason behind this approach is I believe that each member embodies both the vision and the aims of this organisation to complete the system and a complete system of collaboration, joint decision making with the aim of supporting the communities we serve. That each member will embody the spirit and responsibilities of servitude to both the wider community and the communities we serve. Any questions or feedback on that at the moment? Okay. So about the projects. So I'll explain briefly about each project which we're dealing with here. So first off, we got the National Community Law Project. Excuse me. Typical error. Forget to turn my phone off. Brilliant. So the National Community Law Project is a not-for-profit social enterprise, same as the others. And what we do is serve low-income, marginalised and vulnerable people with legal support. Since the LASBO Act 2012, many millions of people have not been able to get access to justice due to the lack of and restrictions in legal aid. Now, legal aid was restricted by the LASBO Act in a variety of areas, but mainly around civil court, leaving people unable to get access to justice as and when they need it. As we've discussed previously, there's no compulsory education in law in the UK, and it isn't taught as a compulsory education. And furthermore, compounding that problem, we've got centuries and centuries of law and legislation and a language which we form as legalese that can make it practically impossible for the normal everyday person to be able to understand the context of their legal case and legal issues as and when they arise. Now, the issue with this is if something isn't done correctly, or isn't done correctly, or isn't understood correctly, this can lead to massive consequences as a result of legal issues arising. So the National Community Law Project is set up by ourselves with law students and graduates who basically volunteer their time under the new SQE route in order to gain experience while serving the most vulnerable people in society. Now, for me, why I'm so happy about that is because the length of time takes roughly around about 2 years experience. So they can spend time with us serving the most vulnerable people in society, and they'll take that with them throughout their career, being able to identify these needs and be able to offer assistance as and when they can. So that's the aim for me. But the aim is the project as a whole is to assist people with legal problems when they're facing it. We're not solicitors, so there's certain things we can't do, such as represent people in court. However, we can help things like compile their case notes, also research evidence, let them understand their case. And we have found this very successful in being able to navigate legal issues for vulnerable communities over the past 5 years. The National Community Security Project. Do you have any questions on the National Community Law Project? No? Okay, brilliant. The National Community Security Project is a new initiative that we've set up in 2025. Now, the National Community Security Project has come because there's been a huge rise since lockdown in security issues. So we've got issues such as street safety. We've seen a massive increase in knife crime. We've seen an increase in gang violence. We've also seen an increase in county lines. Now, county lines, for people who don't know, when people come from other cities and they mainly target young people in order to peddle drugs throughout the community. And this has become a really big problem, especially in underserved communities, where the feedback that I get is where people can earn £100 a day for dealing drugs, whereas they haven't got access to that kind of money anywhere else. There's also other things that happen, such as these county lines and drug gangs. Also, they get them into debt by saying that when people have delivered drugs to the community or to people, that they've been short and get them in debt that way, and a lot of fear and things going on there. So it's a terrible problem. We've also seen a huge rise in homeless people who've also been targeted by drug gangs as well. And we're seeing a lot of issues there. And we're also seeing issues such as massive increases in theft, especially when it targets businesses, where people just walk into stores and walk out because of the lack of intervention at the moment and the under-resourced nature of the police at the moment. So there's a lot of issues here that need to be tackled. So the National Community Security Project is working with communities in both local and nationally in order to create solutions that can help benefit the community, such as intelligence gathering and the residents working together to identify what risks are there, because the issue is with security risks at the moment is they're different for different locations. So you see some commonalities, but you'll also see differences in different locations and different cities around the UK where security is an issue. There's also been a rise of fear as well, especially around about marginalised people, also women and girls who find that it's quite intimidating or have a lot of fear about going out in the community, or going out to a nightclub or going trying to enjoy themselves because of the security issues. So these need to be tackled head on. And we need to develop strategies and pull things in order to engage the community to make things safer, and also security education as well. So security education will be such things as making sure you're in lit up areas, make sure you go out with a friend, make sure that you let people know where you are. That kind of stuff is really, really important. A lot of people know this stuff, but it's more to do with practicing and getting into the habit of making sure, you put your safety first. And also trying to create one of the other agendas, and other organisations are planning on doing this as well, is creating some kind of safety marshals around different areas of where crime can be targeted as well, where people got a point of contact and a community of, say, safety stewards or safety marshals who can help if there's any issues that arise or can be approached. And other initiatives as well, which we'll discuss as we go along. The National Public Education Project is set up in order to, again, both nationally and locally. Again, we will also find that there's different public education needs, but this will also be working with the communities and residents in the communities in order to find out exactly what they need to be tackled and what they need to be highlighted, and then be able to provide education on that in local settings. Plus, we'll also find ways to do it online as well, and be able to support them that way. So that's really working with and engaging with the communities, finding out what they need. So it could be anything from civic rights down to, again, safety initiatives as well, could also fall into the remit of the National Public Education Project for education-wise. Also, if they need any need to understand their civic rights and responsibilities, as well as other things. So they might be a community, might want to know more about the history of their local community, or they might want to find out more about things they can do in order to promote entrepreneurship. So again, under the National Public Education Project, in schools and education, there's no compulsory education in finance. Now, again, finance is one of the biggest things that will impact people's lives. So people need to know how to navigate and understand that too, as well as entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a big thing that is growing in the UK at the moment, especially around Gen Z, and I believe the up and coming Alpha Gen as well. Generations, whereas I believe it's around about 70% would like to be self-employed. So it's being able to set up projects where they can learn to, run their own business. If they might want to start off learning how to trade, running stalls locally, creating events where they can like market events where they can learn trade, that kind of thing. We can facilitate that as well. Also getting feedback from successful entrepreneurs and businessmen, and getting that kind of feedback of the things they can learn to expect, as well as the kind of ethical goals, of how to be ethical in business to the best of your ability. And them type of things. We'll also be promoting debates. I think debate is really important in a democratic society. So we'll be looking to be able to facilitate that, where we can get professionals to debate different ideas as a result of what the community want to know, and to get that kind of accurate feedback as well. So there's a pretty broad spectrum there for the National Education Project and the things we aim to facilitate on that. Any questions on that at the moment? Okay, so One Community Ely CIC, and that's a grassroots community. As I've explained before, Ely is a place I grew up in. I haven't lived there for decades, but it was a place I grew up in. It was one of I believe it's the second largest council estate in Europe. And as that state, it's faced quite a lot of deprivation and a lot of issues. So One Community Ely wasn't actually formed by me, and it was actually formed by one of my esteemed friends, or two of my esteemed friends, Stuart Coslet and Leon Pike. And they set up One Community in order that after a riot, which was in relation to two young kids who ended up dying as a result of being on e-scooters, and it was a pretty sad time. But it ended up going viral on the day, and ended up people coming from all different cities, and there was a huge riot, and a lot of people's property got trashed in Ely. And One Community Ely came out as a result of that, and they're driving an initiative in order to bring the communities together and make sure that the youth and different community members had access to youth centres, which were currently closed, and had access to places to go, as opposed to having issues so where they can end up becoming victims, where they can end up becoming involved in crime or involved in other matters that can create issues. So I inherited this as Stuart decided to go into politics, and I believe Leon is moving to London. So I inherited this in order to keep it going forward, and then create other solutions as well, in alignment with other community organisations, to see what we can do in the best way to support that area. Okay, so any questions on these organisations at the moment?
No questions, Dane. It's all well said. It's all very clear and well said. Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. So I'll just go on to our teams now and explain how this has been set up. So I'm one of the directors, along with Gemma Mansell as well. And what we want to do with this organisation is quite different. I don't believe in the old authoritarian style of management. I don't believe it's effective anymore. It is for some organisations, but not. But I believe these organisations are going to change and transform as we move forward. And I think it's for the best, actually. So as I said, as the directors of the organisation, our job is to publicly represent the organisation. during our work times. That doesn't mean we're not individuals, and doesn't mean that we don't have our own opinions and we have our individual lives, which are separate from the organisation. But as the organisation goes, we want full transparency. So we will be making sure that we're constantly uploading videos about what we're doing, the actions we're taking, and how we're representing the company on behalf of the organisation and behalf of the communities we serve. And then what we've done is we've established a management team, which you're all part of. Now, the management team are there with full access to the rest of the team. And your job is to basically assist both the board and the organisation as a whole in ensuring that all the relevant structure and the overall management of the organisation is working to the benefit of the community and to the organisation. So that'll be things such as engaging with team members and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, ensuring the oversight of the organisation as well, to ensure that we got all the right things in place and we're assisting the teams the best way forward. And then collaborating on different things we need. So, for instance, like now, if you can see, we've got the teams here that I facilitated so far, which I'll go through one by one. But you might want to add other teams as well. So you might want to add an administration team. You might want to add a finance team. You might want to add another area, another team on here, such as I'm trying to think now off the top of my head, recruitment team maybe. So that's all that's under your remit. So then you basically work out what you need. In fact, we'll set a task for that now. If any more teams that need to be added here, you work out yourselves and what you think would be supportive in the organisation, and then I'll get that set up, and then we'll work out how we're gonna go forward with that. And all the teams are voluntary as well. So all our team members have thankfully and graciously volunteered their time in order to offer their skills and also develop new skills in order to basically set up an entire organisation or organisations and move forward with the ongoing management of that, developing vast variety of skills. We're all about collaboration. So we like teams to be able to make joint decisions. Hiya, Christopher. You're right. Just going through this presentation at the moment. Excellent. And then and then we're also going to be making sure that everything's a joint decision, usually by vote. So if like 50% of you or more agree, then it's best to go with that decision type of way. But I think you'll all be able to come to decisions yourself on the management and oversight of the organisation. We've also got the community legal team. Now I've got a meeting, I believe, with them tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And the management team, once you're established, you'll be added to all of these teams as well. So then you can provide general oversight, feedback, advice and support to these other teams. The community legal teams work for the whole organisation or organisations, but their remit is going to be primarily under the National Community Law Project. And what they're going to be doing is assisting low-income, vulnerable and marginalised people with the legal support. We've also got the crowdfunding and fundraising team. Now, this is a new team we've developed, and we've developed a crowdfunding team of fundraising in order to make sure that we're sustainable as an organisation. So their job will be to crowdfund and find ways to fundraise and assist our other volunteers that will come in, which I'll mention shortly if they want to do any crowdfunding or fundraising as well. So we've got teams that are both that are local in the community, and we've also got teams that are fully remote. So the reason for that, every organisation unfortunately needs to make sure it's monetised in order to make things happen. So that'll be another side. We'll also be doing things like selling tickets to events and everything else, but we'll work that out as we go along. The social media and reputation management team, again, the social media and reputation management team will be outsourced. So if we've got clients with reputational issues, and social media issues, they'll be there to support them, but they'll also be here to support the organisation to make sure our branding is right and that we are on point when we are delivering public messages and we're dealing with social media and that type of them type of issues as we're going through the organisation. The community education team. So we've got quite a lot of people are coming to us for community education teams. Again, this is going to be both remote and local to different areas. And what their job is to be able to work with the community, find out needs for education, and we'll have a variety of different skills and backgrounds that will be able to that they'll be able to engage with. Being able to facilitate the community's educational needs and be able to work with us as well within the organisation, providing feedback and advice on education and education needs moving forward. Again, the same with the community security team. So we've got everything in that team, as well as people who want to be safety marshals, local security teams, security advisors as well, who we'll be working with, and we'll be working directly with the community as well. And in order to find out what the needs are and be able to facilitate them also. I've also realised when we had the influx of people who are applying now that we've got a serious lack of people over the age of 60. So under positive discrimination, I've specifically required retired community champion volunteers. So these are going to be people over the age of 60 as well. I think the majority of them will be fully remote. And they'll be working with that organisation as well to provide feedback and input into our projects as well. I don't want to exclude anyone from being able to join this project, so I've specifically targeted retired community volunteers in order to bring that massive wisdom and insight and life experience into the project. And what I want us to be able to do, and the management team, is to be able to bridge that gap between our younger and our retired community champions as well, so that we can get that engagement going. And there's a lot you can learn, and I've learned over the years from people who have gained wisdom over the years. I'm also going to be targeting reformed ex-offenders. Now, there's going to be some people we're not going to be able to employ, such as certain sexual offences, well, sexual offences as a whole, and other offences as well that are not here. But under the Rehabilitation of Offenders Act, anyone who have served 5 years has the right to be rehabilitated into the community. So what I'm looking for is reformed ex-offenders, specifically around the issues relating to violence and crime, and see what kind of input we can get there. These will be on an advisory role. I'm not too comfortable with doing this as an integration role as yet, so it'll be us engaging with them, finding their feedback on violence, crime, and they might know some stuff which we haven't been able to highlight from the other side and be able to assist in being able to help us help others. But we'll have more clarity on that before I actually post that ad, and we'll also speak to the legal team before we move forward in Gemma. So keys to success. To start off, it's best for us to start speaking to and sharing ideas with the individual teams and management teams. So what I want from you as the management team so far is to start getting some ideas together, working out your points of perspectives and how we're going to be moving forward with the organisation, and add your thoughts and a clear vision of how you're going to work together on the projects. So it's really important you get to know each other and each of your teams and learn how they think and plan, and most of all, how you can work together. That's the key. People who don't contribute will be removed and replaced pretty quickly, because there's simply no point in being involved if you don't contribute. If you need to take time out, just let your team know, and the same with all the other members who you'll be overseeing, to making sure that they let us know. We can't just say, we've got to have some kind of structure in place when it comes to that. As a voluntary organisation, it is vital to be actively involved, as the most vulnerable people rely on each of us doing our part, and that's the reason why. So if we don't, we could end up taking on a range of clients, and we could end up having a range of issues. We've got the clients on board. Then if people ain't being actively involved, then it just puts more of a strain on the rest of the team, and that's just not fair and isn't right. So capacity wise, we got to be confident that the people that we're bringing in and we're supporting, we're assisting through the projects, will also be able to be facilitated, and also without putting too much strain on the other people of the organisation. But we can measure this as we go along. Other keys to success is how the seniority will be developed in this organisation. So at the moment, you are the starters, and you're the foundation builders. So this will be for the next few weeks. We already have a lot more people waiting to join the organisation, but we're holding this back so you can get comfortable. And then the management team will be speaking to the other teams about new candidates ready to come into the organisation. And that's the same for the management team as well. As a result, the agreed members of your departments will take the agreed members, which we do take on, will seek you out as members to learn from. That's just how it'll work. So the best way to learn is to teach. So always have that attitude in mind, especially when you're dealing with management teams and you're teaching other teams how to teach. Myself and the other directors in this organisation are the best learners for that very point, because we obviously see the whole organisation. So we become the best learners as a result, and so will you as the management team. And how this organisation will build themselves. But these organisations are special because we are building it together for the service of the people who need it the most. Any questions, observations, inspirations, explanations? Hello, Christopher. You all right? You seem like you're pretty busy there. I think he's.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm actually going for a shift.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right then. So I've done this presentation now, Christopher, as a recording, so everyone's been recorded on this. And I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to put it into the group so people can get an idea of the organisation who haven't been able to watch these videos. But this is specifically for the management team. Do we have any questions at the moment? Observations, inspirations, explanations? We've only got a couple of minutes left on here, so if this ends, we'll just end it, and then we'll go back into the team chat on the team group in Discord. Is that okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes. May I?
Yes, of course, Jack.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Reverend. This was an amazing, very wonderful exposition on what this is all about, and especially what is expected of the management team. So I don't have any questions because everything was so clear. It was so lucid and very well put together. So I just wanted to first of all commend you on that, and also to say that from what you said, I took some notes, and there is actually a lot of direction here. So I think that if we can, I know that we are going to be able to tailor this to what communities want, because you stressed that this is about doing things for the community, by the community. So if we could take, use what we have here, because you mentioned security issues, street safety, gang violence, county lines, theft in shops, right? And things like that. So I think that this is a good foundation so that we can find, look at these needs and maybe look for a particular activity, maybe a group. It will be difficult to specify right now because this is a new thing, like you said. So, but then I think this is a very good foundation for us to find at least themes so that we can now say, okay, how can we address this? How can we address this need in form of a project? You understand? Yeah. And then hopefully also very soon, I don't know, I think we should also be able to target specific communities. Is that the idea? Do we need to go for some specific communities, like using Ely, for instance, or some other communities that?
Or Luton?
Yeah, well, or Luton, yes. Yes, that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. So Are we going to need to specifically target a community?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we're going to need to specifically target communities going forward. I'd like to pilot it for the next couple of months once we kind of get this stable. We could probably use Ely, maybe a couple of areas, maybe, and we can start targeting them communities and then finding out what's going on in there. So at the moment, on Indeed, and if, like I said, if this cuts out, we'll go into. Oh, excuse me. We'll go into the team office on Discord. But I do think that we should start targeting specific communities at the moment, seeing what's going on there. So I've placed ads on Indeed in every city in the UK. So it'll be easy for us to get access to their to information going forward. So we can say, okay, we'll have a look at Luton, or we'll have a look at Ely, or we'll have a look at Grangetown or London. Whatever we want to look at. And then we can target a specific community there. We can bring them on board. We can get the feedback back from them, and then we can work out then what we can do with their specific issues.
Okay. And if I may ask, are we going to target a community at a time and go from community to community, or are we going to handle a certain number of communities concurrently?
I think what will end up happening, but it's gonna we'll have to measure this with growth as we go along. So what I believe will end up happening we will end up with a pool of communities, and then we'll end up but we'll keep expanding outwards. We'll probably end up having a dedicated team doing that. And that's another thought for you and the management team to have. Do we need a dedicated team in order to start developing finding out what's going on in these communities as they're going along, and what kind of management that will take? And expanding out, but the vision is to cover the whole of the UK, and Northern Ireland.
All right, that's great.
So the UK is including Wales, England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, just in case everyone wants to exclude Northern Ireland or Scotland.
It's all right. Thank you, Reverend. Thank you. Yes,
brilliant. All right then. Okay, so we got less than 1 minute left, so I'm going to end this video and I'll go over to the team chat if anyone wants to jump into that, the team office on Discord. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dane.
You're welcome.